Okay. Says we're live now. It's funny, it does a little spinning thing, and I wonder sometimes if it, like we're live, just waiting for a few seconds, but that's cool. All right, hey everybody, this is Zach, and you already know me, I'm Garrett. Zach's been so gracious as to accept the offer of an undoing session, and then we're going to do it live. So if you happen to be tuning in right now at the beginning, you have the chance to actually follow along and have the experience. If you do, leave a comment here, and then I'll be able to check in with you about that later. Otherwise, if you're watching later on video, then I do urge you to just, instead of just watching and being a voyeur, you can actually follow along, try the exercises, try the experiment for yourself, and then get in touch. Let me know how it went. I'm not sure how long we'll leave this up because it's like a full session, so I will probably just chop the vid in pieces later, like a little showcase, but for now it's up. For now it'll be available, so try it out for yourself. This is what the Radical Undoing experience is. And Zach has a lot of different experiences with different kinds of modalities, so I thought it would be interesting for him to try this out and dive in, and then we can have a little discussion about it at the end.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I'll explain just for the viewers, like what I said to you before we went live, which is this will be in 3 parts, which is the first section is to do some warm-ups, and these warm-ups you can use pretty much every single day. They'll have cumulative effects at breaking apart chronic tensions that are deep in the musculature of the body, everywhere from the face, the eyes, all the way down through the lower body. Basic premise is that most people are walking around full of chronic tension, but it's become normalized in society. So we grew up mimicking the tension patterns of our parents. Those tension patterns basically determine what's possible for us. So for example, if I'm like this is exaggeration, but if I'm like this all day long and then someone comes over and says, okay, you can relax that, suddenly I'm not burning a ton of calories on staying tense. And then the correlation with the mind is that the tension, chronic tensions in the body correlate basically with lies in the mind that have to be maintained somehow. So those are maintained by maintaining some amount of chronic tension in the body. So by destroying the chronic tension down here, then what I call the fake suffering of the mind starts to dissipate on its own. And you start to, for example, you break apart the muscles around the eyes and you start to see and perceive reality more directly. For one example, you break apart the throat and the chest, then the creativity and the expression is able to come out more clearly rather than jagged, for example. So then you can imagine that throughout the entire body. So we'll break some of that apart today, and we'll do the warm-ups, then we'll do the lay down specific breathing position, and then at the end the sense and feel. So let's start, and I'll do these warm-ups along with you. We'll start with face stretches. And this is a particular way of stretching the face. So you want to use a lot of intensity and contractions, kind of like isometric contractions where you're moving against the muscle contractions. So you're going to do the face, the whole face, but the forehead, the eyebrows, the eyeballs and eyelids, the cheeks, nostrils, lips, tongue, and jaw, in all different directions. And you want to stretch and move with a lot of it, and it'll feel funny because the identity is locked up in, let's say, just a few combinations of these muscles. So we're going to break that apart and get you back to neutral, which will have a lot of different effects over time. So you stretch and move nice and slowly, and you can follow along here. And break everything apart, and at the same time continue breathing. So the keys, and we do this one for about 5 minutes. The keys to this exercise: move with a lot of intensity, slowly and deliberately, and keep breathing the whole time. And you use the tongue in different directions, the lips. And yes, it will feel funny. I've been in it 20 years and it still feels funny to do it for me.
Yeah, it is funny and feels funny.
And the cool thing is you can just observe it feeling funny, not get drawn into that. And you can slow down even a little more. And then try to do things you wouldn't think of, like stretch the nerve endings on the upper lip by pulling the lip down. And stretch the ones in the chin by pulling that bottom lip in. And then you can try weird combinations like the tongue in the opposite direction of the jaw. Like, it's kind of hard to do. I like to think of it like exploring the geography of the face. When you start to zoom in on it, it's like vast and multi-layered. So we'll just keep going and then keep on breathing at the same time. And of course, it's different on video. You can try this on your own. In the mirror, it can be a lot of fun. And if you run out of stuff to do, you can try making the faces of different emotions. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's funny because they'll transform. That's what's interesting. If you catch yourself getting angry, and then go run to a mirror and go all in on being angry, you're going to start laughing. You know what I mean? It's going to break into different states. Or if you're sad, try to make it like way exaggerate, and then it'll break into something else. You know.
It's very entertaining.
It kind of dilates the sense of time as well. And we've gone maybe 3 minutes so far.
Yeah.
The yawns are great, yawn completely. And when you do yawn, you can make sounds with it as well. It'll go even deeper. So like, you'll feel it kind of. Oh, we got a troll on the YouTube right there. 69girls.xyz. There's
We've got hot girls here. It's probably some dude in his basement.
Blocked. Okay, cool. And someone's following along on YouTube. Delta 7. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, just and if you have questions for me along the way, Delta, just post them, and I'll try my best to address those. Okay, so then at the end of the 5 minutes, and traditionally we do this quietly with breathing, but for now you know the exercise. Try that if you want. Try that every morning, every night for a week, and you're going to start to experience. You'll get your face to neutral, number one. So if you're ever in a mood, you do this exercise. Imagine over a month or two, you've done the exercise in every different mood. What you've created there is... your body and brain will remember this transition from each of the moods back to neutral. So the cumulative effect is you start doing it almost the moment you remember to do it. Then when you get into any different mood, there's a neural pathway back to neutral. You see? So you're completing all these circuits by doing this particular exercise, because the combination of facial muscle contractions determines what your brain reads as your emotional state. Now, of course, the rest of the body's involved in that as well, but the face, there's an inordinate amount of brain matter dedicated to monitoring the face for a number of different reasons.
And they kind of can reflect back to each other as well.
Because the brain only has the body to read, the sensors, the senses, and the body to read to determine what's going on. It doesn't read the external world unless there's like a dangerous threat, but that's coming through the senses, you see? So, for example, if you have a tense diaphragm all the time, which most people do, or tense shoulders all the time, the brain is going, well, there's an emergency somewhere. Just relying on the state of the body. But now we've disconnected ourselves from being present, where there's almost never a survival threat, but our body is tensed against life. So the brain is reading a constant survival threat, which puts us into a hypersuggestive state at all times.
Yeah.
See the trick there, yeah? So we're undoing that. So that's why it's undoing. It's not like learn something new or add something to yourself. It's get back to your natural present state where everything's obvious, everything's available.
I like it. It's kind of softening the body so that the brain can be like, okay, things are actually all right.
Yeah. There's no threat happening right here, you know. So it's cool.
Yeah.
So the next exercise. Go ahead.
Sorry. Even if you can do
you're
that,
fine.
if someone can do that, like out in public, for example, say a lot of people get anxiety going outside in some cases. So if you can just do that, well, maybe not doing like walking down the street or something, but it can certainly make a difference.
And there's a trick that, because when you're doing the breathing today, as you'll learn, you make the sound ah. So it's a full breath into the belly and chest, and then you say ah. So every time you're saying ah, like 1,000 times during a session, then what you can do, I call it the dehypnotizing breath. But when you're out in public or something like that, you can just notice that you've drifted off out of awareness, and then something like that. And because you build it in with repetition over time, it'll bring in all the effects of doing the body work. Just that ah sound will make the brain remember, and it goes right, you know. So you're onto it there, yeah. So the next one I'll show you is the shoulders. And you could pull the shoulders up to your ears like this. So you kind of sit up straight, pull the shoulders up. Now be careful if you have any injuries or something, but it generally can't hurt you. And you pull the shoulders up and then let your neck come back down and be relaxed. And then eyes open so you can stay aware. And then shoulders up and continue pulling them upward. And then you can leave your hands and lower arms relaxed. And now breathe at the same time. So you want to feel that intensity and kind of relax into the intensity of pulling the shoulders up. So keep them up the whole time. It's a dynamic exercise. So it'll be kind of intense or warm or annoying, but just keep pulling them up. And when you do this one on your own, do it for at least a full minute to get the effect. So shoulders up, and then keep breathing and make sure you're breathing into the belly and into the chest. And just continue pulling the shoulders up the entire time.
It's quite a lot to kind of just keep them up like that.
Yeah, exactly. And you can work this up to 10 minutes. You know, we won't torture you that way today, but just one little bit over 1 full minute. So just keep breathing. And like I said, be aware of the intensity, but just relax into it. It's just as if it's just another event. You know, don't resist the intensity. You can do the same with handstands or going into the bridge as well. It's kind of a form of relates to something like Qigong, where you're breathing into the situation. Okay, so we've been almost a full minute. So then you take a complete inhale, keep the shoulders up, hold the breath, pull the shoulders up even tighter, and then I will count 3, 2, 1, and then you thrust the shoulders down and say ah. So hold on tight. And then 3, 2, 1, ah. And I'll just close your eyes, take a few breaths, and then feel the effects of the exercise. And when I say feel the effects, it just means be aware. You don't even have to put words on the experience.
Warm.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. I still feel the face too. Everything's just kind of like more motion. And again, with the shoulder one, do that every day in the morning and at night. And anytime you feel tense, it's going to sort of reprogram that area to operate with less and less and less tension over time.
Sweet. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I noticed I'm still yawning from the face stuff and all of this. It's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's great. It's totally great. These simple movements. So the next one I'll show you, I'm gonna have to take the headphones off to demonstrate it. Let me see. Maybe we should. You know what? No. Let's just do ones where we can stay sitting here. I was going to show you the flop, but it's a little much to try and explain and demonstrate here on the video. So let's do. Let's do this tiger claw thing. I adapted this from another guy, from Matt Fury. Basically, you're gonna, and this one will feel a little funny too, but you come back on the inhale, you're kind of curving your spine, even the neck, so you're not leaning the head back, but you're coming up and curving and reaching the fingers and thumbs back and opening the chest, and then make like a psychopathic smile on the inhale on the way back, like, and then you're gonna tense again like an isometric contraction, tense all the muscles through the chest and the arms and shoulders, and then when you come forward like that, so I'm tensing against it, like I'm digging through a wall, and then growl at the same time, and you go all the way forward like this and down. So stretch everything through here. So the whole movement is like this. On the inhale, we'll do like 3 of these. Inhale, come up, and then you inhale again, come back. It'll stretch, it'll open up everything here. One more. Okay, and then take a couple of breaths. Isn't that amazing?
I'm gonna go slash something.
I know.
Let's go.
And you can imagine, so you can use that, for example, before playing guitar, before painting. See, now you have some flow going from here through the arms and wrists and everything.
It's like energetic and blocking. It is. Yeah,
That's
I feel
nice.
that. Good.
Good warm-up for martial arts or Tai Chi, any kind of thing like that. One thing, this is simple like this, see if I can demonstrate it. If you reach your arms out this way, and then you're going to turn the opposite direction. So this palm's facing up, this palm's facing down, and then I'm just going to turn them like this, turn them opposite directions, stretch out, so to speak. So one palm is, like you're twisting like a towel. So this it's hard to demo on the video. So this palm is up, this palm's down, and then I'm going further. Yeah. Just simple, like opposite directions like that, yep. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, isn't it so simple, huh?
That's getting to some circulation that, has been dormant for a while.
Yeah, it's nice. It's such a simple one.
Yoga poses we missed. Like the...
Yeah, real simple stuff. Let me see. Let's do the laughing breath. That's fun for people on video too. So laughing breath. You gotta do 5 full breaths of. We'll do 3 for the video. We'll do 3 full breaths of 3 different types of laughing sound. You want to get the physiology involved in it too. Now, 15 or 20 years ago when I first started this, I remember I was working the exercises into my daily life, and I got super pissed off, and then I would do this laughing breath whenever I'd get in a mood. But it sounded like, when I was doing it then, it was like, ha, 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 but over time it diminished those states, but I didn't feel the effects at the moment, but I was like pissed and doing it. But for now, the 3 full breaths will be ha, so that sounds like ha, 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 ha. I'm putting my belly into it.
Ha, 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 ha.
And you don't have to do it angry. I'm saying I was angry. Then I would do it, but I would try to, what I mean?
Okay. So just doing it to kind of laugh. It's like
now we're just doing hot. If you break into spontaneous laughter, you go with that. But we start out, so we'll take a full inhalation, and we'll do 3 full breaths of this one. So it's ha 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 ha. Another full breath, and then And then another breath of ha. Ha 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 ha. Then 3 full breaths of he. So it's he 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 one more of that.
That's class.
And then and then the third one is like a combination, like and then 2 more breaths, so full inhalation. I like to move the whole body on that one. I'm like and then at the end just laugh and let loose, like and then take a few breaths.
My veins popping out. Wow. Yeah,
I know mine must too. Yeah. So, those 4, for example, you do those every day. So first take a few breaths, just relax, close the eyes, and then become aware of the inside of the body again. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can feel everything from head to toe. Okay, so now, and again, like I mentioned before, there's a ton of different things we could do for warm-ups. Sometimes I'll have people do handstands and then like a wrestler's bridge and different stuff, but you just do, 10, 15 minutes at the beginning of the session. I always include the face and shoulders, and then I make variations on all the other stuff. Then I'll show you the breathing position here, and then you can get down into it. And let me turn the camera for a second. I'm going to take the headphones off and explain it, and you can ask any questions.
Okay.
So one moment here. So I'll show you the breathing position from 2 different directions. So you're going to have the knees up like this, and the feet are about this width apart. Some people make the mistake to put the feet like that so the knees stay up automatically. When the feet are here, you have to keep the knees up with your awareness. So they're not falling open, they're not coming together. They're just aimed at the ceiling. And then no pillow. So the neck and head lay flat, and then there's a bend in the elbows. So you can see my arm is like this, so my palm is down. So it's not like that, it's not like that, it's like this. Palm is down, like that. I'll show it from the other direction just in case. So you can see the knees are up, my neck is down and relaxed, have a bend in the elbows, and then just like this. And you can move the feet a little closer to your body, a little further away, whatever feels right to you.
Okay. Oh, shit.
In this position increases blood flow and movement of all the different fluids and things in the body. It mobilizes all the joints.
Yeah, looks good. Okay.
Then remember, no pillow.
Yeah. Look at that.
Perfect. Yeah, cool. Perfect. Yeah, that should be good. And is that an entirely soft surface under your arms too, or is that hard? Is that a
That's
floor there?
hard.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
well, it's the carpet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I won't make you punch the floor that or kicks. So sometimes we can do punches and kicks and that kind of stuff, but we won't have you do that today because that would hurt you. But there's plenty of other things we can do, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
And you can just lay your head back, and then you breathe in and out of the mouth exclusively for this. And keep your eyes open, except for you can blink. So find a spot on the ceiling that'll help you remember to stay aware of the body. So eyes open, mouth open. You can stretch the jaw open at first and then just let it hang loose wherever it wants to be. And all the breath in and out of the mouth. So you take a breath in, start the breath deep in the belly, let it fill the belly, let it fill the chest, and then say ah. So it sounds like ah. And just a short, gentle ah. And then let all the breath out. So I'll let you breathe like this for the first couple of minutes, and then we will synchronize some movements into it.
I need 30 seconds. My apologies, viewers.
No problem. No problem. Take your time. And then for those watching along on the video, if you're following along, get into that same breathing position that I just showed. And then start the ah breathing. So again, the jaw is relaxed, mouth is open, eyes are open except for blinking. And then a nice regular or slightly slower pace of breathing, like ah. Ah. So start the breath deep in the belly, let it fill the belly, let it fill the chest, then say ah, and let all the breath out. So keep going with that cycle of breathing. Then we'll add movements in a few minutes. Cool. Up through the mouth and take your time, relax. Again, and find a spot on the ceiling you can remember that'll bring you back to awareness of the body.
Do I have to keep saying ah?
Yes.
Okay. On every breath.
Yes.
Ah. Ah. Ah.
Good. Yeah, just a gentle ah, and then let all the breath out.
Ah.
So your awareness can be on every time you take the inhale, make sure you're starting deep in the belly. Let it fill the chest, say ah, and let all the breath out. So the idea is stay as aware as you can of the body and of what you're doing with the breathing.
Ah. Ah.
And no judgments or anything. If you notice you get lost in thought or something like that, you just become aware. Notice that. And go back to awareness of the body.
Ah. 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 Ah.
And just so people are aware too, you only do 1 or 2 of these full lay down sessions per week, never more than that, except maybe under certain circumstances. Do the face stretches, shoulders, the warm ups every day, many times as you want, but the full lay down session just once or twice a week. Good. And you can even be aware of the quality of the ah sound, which may change over time. Okay, so now you've been breathing for a few minutes. Now what I'll have you do is you continue. This is the regular ah breathing. So now you're going to continue with this. This is your baseline. But now we're going to synchronize movements along with it. So on the inhale, open your eyes as wide as you can. And then when you make the ah sound, close your eyes and squeeze the eyelids tight. Don't bring the cheeks into it. So eyes open, really wide, push up the forehead on the inhale, and then closed throughout the exhale. Good, exactly. Yep. So eyes open wide on the inhale and then closed on the exhale. Good, and remember the ah sound. It's very easy to forget at first.
It definitely opens up the diaphragm, and it's got a lot of coordination.
Yeah, it's funny. It sounds really simple, right? It sounds so innocuous, but then once you get going, it's everything. It's interesting you mentioned that, yeah, because one of the Delta on YouTube who's following along said, I'm particularly interested in any diaphragm exercises. So, I mentioned this regular ah breathing is going to release the diaphragm on its own over time, but we'll also do some exercises that specifically to target that area. And I noticed you moving the hands around. What you want to do is stay aware, but resist the urge to stretch out or anything. Just let the body be. And that kind of sensations might build up. So anyone doing this for the first time, be aware. You can start getting all kinds of tingling, all kinds of movements, all kinds of intense experiences. So just be aware of them, but don't try to do anything about it. Good, and just a little bit longer with the eyes open, closed exercise. Okay, and now you can let the eyes be open but relaxed and go back to the regular ah breathing. And I should have mentioned early on, belches, farts, and yawns take precedence. So if you have to yawn or fart or belch, you can yield to those. And try not to stretch out. Let that stuff build. Let that build up. It's okay. It's a natural reaction, but we want that to build up, and then at the very end, you'll stretch out. Okay, now for the next exercise, on the inhale, pull your shoulders up to your ears, and then when you say ah, thrust the shoulders back down with some force. Use a little bit more aggressive ah sound for this movement. So shoulders up, and then ah, thrust them down, then relax throughout the exhale. And Delta asked, do you find people tend to build the charge either in the limbs, hands, feet, or in the torso? Simple answer is yes. It depends on the person. But in the beginning, it'll tend to charge in the lower, the forearms and hands, and or the calves and feet. When I got started, I was so full attention, it was building in my face, my jaw, my forearms, my feet, my knees, and even sometimes my hips and pelvis. So it really depends on the person. Some people don't build much of a charge at all in the beginning, so it's variable. Okay, now you keep doing this one, but use a little more aggressive sound, and then that'll help you give some aggression into the movement. So, ah. Good, exactly. And make sure eyes are open, but relaxed. be aware. The ah sound now transformed, so people watching too, you notice the ah will just transform into ha or other things. So you just bring it back to ah.
Ah.
Good, perfect. So we're disturbing homeostasis in the body, which is the body's used to maintaining a certain amount of tension. We're disturbing that, and the body resists by trying to bring us out of awareness. So we're reasserting that awareness over and over and over again. Okay, you can go back to the regular ah breathing, and then we'll deal with what you're feeling right in that spot too. The next exercise, we will target that area. Okay, so now back to regular ah breathing. Let the shoulders be relaxed. Stop with the movements of the shoulders, and then go back to the regular ah breathing. Ah. And how are you feeling so far, Zach?
My solar plexus and where my abdominals connect to the lower ribs are a bit in pain.
Okay.
Apart from that, I'm okay.
Okay, great. There can be all kinds of stuff people describe, tingling or anxiety in the legs or in the arms. There's all kinds of stuff that can happen. Sometimes trembling. So don't resist anything that's involuntary movements or expressions, but then don't try to do anything deliberately either.
So shaking in the legs, trying to keep it up.
Cool, perfect, yeah. And that's fine. Just be aware of the trembling if it does occur. So now between exercises, you always go back to the regular ah breathing. Nope, there was looked like there's a little bit of delay. Your head started moving really fast. Funny. Yeah. Okay, so now...
Yeah, time.
Oh yeah, no problem. So now we'll do something called paradoxical breathing. And this one you're going to you make a croaking sound with the throat, so it sounds like this. And you suck the belly in and up into the chest, so you're breathing into the chest only. Kind of like you're trying to touch the navel to the spine. So I can stand up and show it a little bit, but it's like you're going to hold for a moment and then let it go. So you're trying to pull the diaphragm and all the abdominal muscles inside like a vacuum. Hold for a moment, be aware, and then say ah and let the whole thing go. Yeah, it looks like you're getting it there. Exactly. And when you're breathing in like that, yeah, and if you have to cough as part of it, no problem. When you're sucking in like that, be aware of the diaphragm. Try and really tense it up and pull it in. And then when you say ah, let it go. You can go a little lighter on the sound, like.
Yeah, I don't like that. It's like my lungs are trying to inhale, but my lower lungs are like getting compressed in.
Exactly. Yeah, it's that's why it's called paradoxical breathing. So it's the opposite of normal breathing, and this is going to relax all that diaphragm area down. If it hurts too much, or if it's really hurting you, don't do it. We'll do something else.
Yeah, I just got like liquid in my throat. It's like it's forcing that up, and I can't breathe properly when I do that.
Okay, then just go back to the regular ah breathing for now. Okay, now we'll move up to the eyes again. So now on the inhale, start to roll your eyes. So you can roll them in nice big smooth circles, starting at the top, over to the right, then down, over to the left, and up again. So keep going with the ah sound, and then roll your eyes in nice slow circles, and then I'll tell you when to reverse the direction. And then remember the ah sound. It's super common to forget the ah sound doing the eye rolls for some reason. And then switch directions with the eyes. Do that one just a little bit longer. Okay, and then you can stop with the eye rolling and back to the regular ah breathing. And then just be aware of what's going on in the hands and feet and everything. Let's try and keep an awareness inside. Be aware of the inside of the body.
It wants to move. My legs want to move.
Right. So just be aware of that. Okay. For next exercise, on the inhale, make fists with your hands, and then on the ah sound, just open them up and relax. Good, and just let them drop. Yeah, like that. Perfect.
Mm.
And this one's somewhat of an advanced exercise because there's also, as I mentioned before, an inordinate amount of the brain monitoring the hands as well. So it might seem somewhat innocuous, but it's actually pretty powerful. And I've noticed already that your breathing has gotten more deep and more smooth from when we first started. The belly and the chest are moving more. The ah sounds a little more relaxed.
It is, yeah, I feel that.
Okay, you can stop with the fist exercise. Go back to the regular ah breathing. I think we'll just do one more exercise most likely before we go move to the next part.
I found the fists help to guide my breathing.
Say that again.
I found the fist action helped to guide my breathing.
Nice. Yeah, great.
When my legs are getting trumped up.
Okay, so now you can slide your feet and knees together, so the feet are touching, the knees are touching. Then when you say ah, let the legs flop open, and then on the inhale, bring them back together nice and slow, synchronized with the inhalation. And so pull the fabric up towards your groin there, so that you don't catch on the fabric, but you catch on the muscles. And if it's too much, you can slide the feet a little further away from your butt or bring them closer, depending on the kind of stretch you feel. Now this will get easier over time, but do your best to just let the legs flop. If it hurts too much, then take it slow. But it will get better with time. So now slow down on the inhale, and then say ah, and let them just flop open. So you're really feeling that in the hip joints, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh. Now, is it getting better than it was the first time when you let them flop?
Yeah. I got a little resistance at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting easier.
Cool. And that's the nature of this work. It's not like school where you have some perfect demonstration of the exercise right away. You just refine it over time. You follow the simple instructions, adapt it to what's going on for you, and then every repetition, that's where the work takes place.
It's getting easier.
Awesome.
It's a good way to gain extra flexibility as well.
Totally. Yeah, it's funny, if I describe these things or this work to people, it sounds innocuous, but then you start to consider how many people actually spend time just laying down, being aware of their body, being aware of their breath, and moving deliberately like this. It's actually extremely rare.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like even in yoga, you're not necessarily always, you focus on the body, but not like, well, kind of not like this.
Yeah, exactly. And I did all kinds of other things in my seeking days, and well, a lot of them had benefits and were interesting. Nothing quite knocked me open and loose like this. And don't stretch up. Resist that urge till the end, even if it's intense. Try and just sit with that intensity. So we're almost done. Yeah, I know. I can almost feel it when just watching you do it.
Feels good.
Awesome. Good. Okay, and now you can go back to the regular breathing position, back to the regular ah breathing. Just a few more breaths here. Okay, actually, we'll do one more exercise. So we'll move back up the body to the jaw. So on the inhale, push your jaw out toward the ceiling like an underbite. And then when you say ah, let the jaw relax. Good, exactly. Good timing on that too.
My legs getting real shaky, supporting themselves.
Okay. Yeah, we're just about finished with this part too. So go ahead and take a couple deep, sighing, relaxing ah breaths. You can stop with the jaw exercise. One more deep, sighing, relaxing breath. Okay, and now you can just lay the legs flat. Do not stretch out yet or anything, just lay them flat. And then for this part, you can do with your eyes open or closed. Yeah, don't stretch out yet. So eyes open or closed, and say out loud everything you sense and feel in the body, but no voluntary movements, no interpretations, and that'll sound something like this. And you keep a steady stream of talking going, and you can repeat things. So it'll be like, there's an itch on the left side of the head, itch on the head, itch on the head, eyes blink, lips and tongue moving, belly moving with the breathing, twitch in the right toe, tingling in the hands, whatever it is. Just keep a steady stream of talking going. And I'll time this out for you. And then when we're done, we'll have a little conversation and let you go.
Cold, bladder, pee, tingling fingers, tingling knees, cold knees, feet, cold, tingling, legs, trumped, tense, shaky, hungry, cold, shaky, tense, tingling, relaxed, breathing, diaphragm expanded, softer, relaxed, toilet, wee, pissing like a racehorse.
So if you need to, for this part, if you need to go use the bathroom, it'll make this part a little easier. But just don't, if you do, don't stretch out. Just get up, slow, walk slow to the bathroom, and it'll be almost psychedelic when you stand up. But so take your time and enjoy the adventure, but don't stretch out yet.
Okay. I'm going to go to the bathroom.
And go nice and slow. Be aware. For those of you folks watching on video, I'll repeat again. For this part, you want to be really aware of what you're saying. Let your awareness drift through your body and say only what you can directly observe. So no voluntary movements and no interpretations. So that means tingling in the hands, there's a twitch in the finger, feel the fabric underneath the fingers, movement in the knees, tingling, moving up the spine, whatever it is you notice, but be aware when you start to drift into abstraction and stop yourself. So it's not like I feel, it feels like lava moving in the belly. No, warmth in the belly, pleasant sensations in the legs, tingling in the knees, twitch in the neck, muscles around the eyes relax. Whatever it is that you notice, say it out loud, and then keep a steady stream of talking going throughout the entire sense and feel. We'll do this for about 10 minutes once he gets back.
Feels like ayahuasca, mushrooms, ketamine, and alcohol in different ways.
Wow. Yeah, without the side effects too, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, and so just keep labeling, saying everything you sense and feel in the body. No voluntary movements, no interpretations.
Cold, relaxed, warm, tingles, tingling, ringing in the head. Cold, cold, fuzzy in the head, ringing in the head, like tinnitus, heavy metals in the brain, fuzzy, fuzzy.
So be aware of the interpretations now. So fuzzy would be somewhat of an interpretation. Try and get to just strictly physical terms.
Hungry in the stomach. Fuzzy, warm feeling throughout the body. Cold feet, cold legs, warm stomach. Relaxed fingers. Ringing in the head. Relaxed throughout the body. Muscles relaxed in the stomach. Muscles in the stomach soft, supple and flexible. Cold feet, tingling in the hands. Throbbing of the heartbeat in my head. Cold legs.
And did you notice your hands squeezing there? So then even that, you might say hands squeezed, or there's an itch in the eye. So everything.
Hands squeezed, toes curl, want to stretch, itch in the eye, itch in the face. Breathing through the diaphragm. Cold everywhere. Breathing easy. Cold feet. Wiggling toes. Moving fingers. Feel the carpet.
And then try scanning from the top of your head and say everything you notice all the way down through till you get to the bottom of your feet. And if there's nothing in a specific area, you can say nothing in the chest or whatever. But just scan your awareness through the whole body and report all the way from top down.
Grey hairs.
So that's not a sensation, but just so be aware when the mind just tries to go into abstraction. It's just notice that, because it's how that's how our awareness gets hijacked all the time, is with abstraction. So just notice it, and again, no judgment, no nothing like that. This is like a brutal process, this sense and feel thing. So just notice, and then come back to the body and go down through the whole thing.
Headache, throb, headache in the frontal lobe. Throat is strong. Slight ache in the right thumb joint. Some energy in the solar plexus. Feels neutral, strong. Carpet is cozy. Feels cozy. Hunger in the stomach. Legs are relaxed. Cold feet. Yeah, almost went into a dream. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. That is an amazing thing. I'm glad that happened. That happens to pretty much everybody I work with. There's such a fascinating effect with this. It's as if the dream world is already there, fully existing. I've had it happen with eyes open as well. During this, it's like the liminal, the space between the so-called normal reality and this liminal sort of awareness is much thinner, or become aware that line is not as solid as it appears.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's my whole body. Oh, my hands are cold as well.
Okay, so now go ahead and just take a deep breath. Move nice and slow. Stretch out if you want. And that sense and feel, it takes a while to really get into that, but over time, that's going to give you a deep awareness of the difference between what is going on in actuality versus the abstractions of the mind. So it's this extremely brutal process, because normally the abstractions and then the actuality are all blended together. That's how people can be all upset when there's actually nothing really going on. But this process, the sense and feel, will make you distinctly aware that of the difference between actuality and then the world of abstractions. So like tunneling out of something,
Absolutely. Oh, my diaphragms are here, like under the where the abdominal, the rib cage, is pretty sore and tender from that, but it's good.
Yeah, sometimes what this work will do, what'll happen is the first session or so, for example, with the face stretches, you can suddenly feel like, oh fuck, my jaw is hurting. It's not that the exercise is hurting the jaw, it's that it's breaking into the pain cycle or the tension cycle that's been out of awareness.
Yeah.
So, for example, the diaphragm, you start moving it and doing those exercises, suddenly the awareness comes back to it, and it's like, holy shit, this thing is tense.
Yeah. Yeah. And every time you do it, it's going to make it a little bit more supple and like freed up.
Yeah, exactly. It's
awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you had a good experience. So yeah, share with anything you want to, anything you want to bring up about your experience.
I'm going to stand up.
Sure.
So, the psychedelic thing's gone now.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no. It was good. That was very powerful about the psychedelic part. I was not expecting that at all. I don't know if that's a combination of the bricks, like that kind of breathing exercise like that through the mouth, and just all that time brings in so much oxygen. That's one part of it. And then I imagine having one's knees up in the air like that, or knees up, and the rest of the body flat may contribute to that as well. So it's really powerful. That's incredible. Surprised. Yeah, it was good. I feel I can breathe fully, really easily now. That's
Awesome.
that was like a breathing workout, and I feel like I've worked that muscle really nicely, and it's freed up. So it's like that's going to benefit me on my walks a lot.
Yeah. You'll have a great time when you take a walk after this. Yeah.
Oh, I look forward to that today then. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. If you have the time, definitely do that. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. Apart from that, yeah, it was like the spreading of the legs, like that definitely got easier. I was surprised because it's like I remember doing that before in yoga, and it's like when I just leave them there open, and then they just start like shaking, like start trying to pull together a bit. But doing it that way, it kind of like just it went.
Yeah, it kind of pops loose after a few times, yeah.
Yeah, that's it, and it kind of just becomes like elastic. It'll like the legs will like bounce out, and then they'll kind of like go doing, like, and they'll like bounce back in a little bit as well once they reach the bottom, and it just shows that it's opened up.
Yeah.
It was very satisfying, some of those positions. I also like the one where we did the twist the arm one. That did some circulation or some tendon or something in my arms, and that was something I haven't felt for a long time. So that's nice.
Beautiful. Yeah. The warm-ups are great, and if when I'm working with people like at the workshops that I mentioned in UK, and we have like a full week, then we'll sometimes before a session we'll spend an hour or two doing warm-up stuff. We do handstands, and we'll work all this, and we'll do some things like come down through like this, and then some flops, move through the whole body and do some specific types of kicking, so work on warm-ups for a long time. And then we'll do a session for 2 or 3 hours with the lay down breathing and stuff like that.
Wow.
The repertoire of exercises is vast. But I do the sessions organically, meaning I don't generally come up with a plan for people. I go into it, and then I've been at this stuff for so long that somehow I have some intuition where I know which exercise should come next. And the body kind of gives the hints, you know, like after a while I noticed your hands doing this. So then I was like, okay, well, let's go into that now. Making the fists, for example.
Yeah, my hands kept wanting to clench up a bit instead of just laying them flat. Like, yeah. Like a default.
So then we'll go into that. Or if a person starts falling asleep, which often happens, then we'll go into some more aggressive movements like the shoulders and like, you know.
Sure.
That type of stuff. If a person's really passive, then I'll have them do aggressive exercises like punching. And at first they'll be like this, you know. And I'm like, no, you got to punch and yell, man. And then they'll finally, something will break open, and then they'll do the punching and the yelling. It's not that they weren't aggressive. It's that the aggression was all trapped up in this, you know, some kind of resistance and muscle tension. So ultimately, it's getting us back to neutral, and then you have the full range of your of the human experience. You can feel everything more fully and more intensely when you're not full of muscle contractions. But the feeling, the intensity of life will affect you less.
Yeah.
You feel it more fully, but it won't overwhelm you. It won't force you to react in a certain way. So in a sense, you're raising your anxiety and frustration tolerance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which means a lot of things, you can bear a lot of intensity, but you know, still go and do whatever you want to do. So
gives you more capacity. Kind of definitely opens up pathways in the nervous system as well, just through the physiological and the breathing as well. Like I can definitely see that it empowers the body to be stronger in so many ways, and more, not just the body.
Right. The awareness, the mind. And also, you might have noticed we're breaking apart different areas. So when you first started, for example, with the eyes open on the inhale and closed on the exhale, your whole jaw was getting involved, and maybe even the chest. So it's like, but then after you repeat for a while, then it was just the eyes opening and closed. You see? So then this area, there's kind of like these tension links between different parts of the body. Where at first the person will open the eyes and they'll be tensing the ass, they'll be squeezing the legs, they'll be tensing the shoulders, and they'll be moving the jaw. And then just with repetition and repeating the instructions, after a while it'll just be the eyes.
Yeah.
And then we free up the jaw, and then free up the shoulders, and then the diaphragm and the pelvis. So then the body can move more independently. And then sometimes we'll link them back together. So some advanced stuff would be opening the eyes, lifting the shoulders, and tilting the pelvis on the inhale. And then on the exhale, closing the eyes, thrusting the shoulders down, and dropping the pelvis. So we put them back together kind of in a smooth way.
That's good. Good way of doing it.
Yeah, it's fun stuff, man. It's really, and it's always gives some kind of new awareness, new energy, new insights. And I've been doing it, like I said, for like 20 years now. And still, it's still like a new discovery to me, which makes sense because the body is organic, it's alive, it's flowing. So it's not a fixed... not a fixed thing. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, it's and everyone's gonna have all these different experiences, and everyone will have almost a different experience every time, I can imagine. So it's a bit different for you, and you get to adapt and learn how to adapt to all these different experiences, so you can be more holistically rounded when it comes to dealing with individual cases. So yeah, that's awesome. No, it's really good practice. Thank you so much for taking me through it. It's I was not expecting to feel like I was on shrooms.
Yeah, that's awesome, and it's great because it doesn't have any of those any of the side effects or any of the body thing. And I tend to think the effects are slightly slower than the effects of psychedelics, and yet they're permanent. In a certain sense, this kind of knowing, this kind of perception, especially repeated over time, has permanent effects. Mm-hmm. You know, now your brain's going to remap its image of the body, but with a lesser amount of tension now.
Yeah.
So we disturbed homeostasis so quickly, and this is why I think it's somehow different than other types of yoga and other types of body work that I got involved in. Is that this the other types of body work, when I was getting a lot of massage and all that kind of stuff, the tension would reassert itself somehow. But this, we've disturbed it so deeply, so quickly, the brain actually has to spend less energy remapping the body image with a lower amount of tension than it does by trying to reassert the tensions. That's my speculation, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's kind of, it reminded me a lot of like, you know, generally with yoga, a lot of it is like stretching out certain parts of the body that don't really get to often be stretched. And this, I felt it was doing the same kind of things, like with like eyes back open and like doing that and just repeating that action with the breath as well. It's like, I can imagine you've had people break down in tears at times
Oh,
doing.
dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Rage or tear, usually sometimes laughing, and then under the laughing will be the some rage, and under the rage will be some tears,
Yeah.
and some real breakthroughs. Most often, people characterize it as some kind of remembering. They'll say something like, "Oh man," they'll remember where they left off as a child in the natural growth process. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, oh right, when they crawled up into the world made of words and abstractions and ideas, and suddenly they're remember, oh right, here, this, you know, there's not really words for it, because our primary experience is prior to words, prior to abstraction, you know. But then we learn in school and all this stuff to value story and abstraction over direct experience.
Yeah, sure.
It's kind of fascinating. But with your direct experience, you've had this unbroken chain of awareness and experience throughout your entire life, and yet obscured by ideas and abstractions.
Right, yeah, I see. Yeah, and it can kind of break the link and allow a little bit of re-identification to occur. Yeah, or just clears the space for a new identity to occur in some cases like that, I can imagine. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, I can see the power of like, it's opening up pathways as well that don't really get stimulated, if ever. Like in some cases, like certain muscles in the face and things like that. Like, so you got traumatized as a child, like, and it made you really sad, and then you were told, no, don't be sad, and then you were like, that imprint of that sadness in the face never got to be dealt with. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, and the muscles of the face, you know, those kind of determine how we're feeling, and then it also tells other people how to treat you. So if you know, you can test it out. Walk into a shop where people know you, coffee shop, for example, and put on a sad face on purpose, and watch how people react to you. And then walk in and put on like a big happy face, and watch how people react to you. And then go in neutral. And if you're in neutral, you'll actually be, I think this information exchange takes place all the time, but you'll be aware of it. Like you might notice if you do the face and eyes, for example, over a longer period, you'll feel what's going on in other people, you know, and it can be actually disturbing sometimes, like strangers and stuff. But just by the face, all this information comes through, like, whoa, you know.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Well, cool, man. We're coming up on the turn of the hour, so I've got to get going. But one thing I wanted to mention also, for people did on the video as well, is be aware of the dreams tonight. Not necessarily analyze the content, but just be aware there can be some intensity in the dreams. A lot of this effects of this work take place just like working out at the gym. They take place while you're sleeping for the next couple of nights. You might also get some burst of insight or some kind of motivation that seems like out of left field. If you do, that's usually something that you can run with, something that you'll have sustained motivation to do. So some book idea or, you know, creative idea or whatever. If you just get a burst of that kind of inspiration, then try and run with it if you can.
Sounds good. Thank you. Yeah, I will. I'll be mindful of that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today. That was an awesome session. I was exceeded my expectations.
Ah, beautiful. And it's great to meet you and talk. And like I said, maybe we'll do another stream or a podcast soon. So send me a message and we'll keep in touch. And then I'll definitely come see you when I'm in UK for the workshop.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, we should meet
Awesome.
up. That'd be cool. And yeah, I'm up for a podcast or another stream. We'll choose a topic and go from there. I'll be in touch over the messenger.
Perfect. Yeah, I look forward to it, man. And thanks again. And thanks everybody who was watching or following along. You send me a message. Let me know how it went. And yeah, man, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks everybody, and thank you very much, Zach. That's kind of bold to come on and do it live streaming as well. So
It's awesome. I actually enjoyed it. I don't mind. If it was a different kind of practice, I might have been a bit, but because it was just, yeah, it was good.
cool. Well, thanks very much, man. Oops, we lost you there. Okay, I guess we lost Zach, but maybe his computer died. Anyway, thanks to Zach if you see this later. Thanks to everybody else who's watching. I'm going to duck out of here. And see you guys again for another stream very soon. And if anybody else wants to jump on the stream this week, be aware I'll post the link and you can jump on with me. Have fun, and talk to you guys again soon. Enjoy.